everybody to Crossover. As always, I'm your host, Austin House. With me is Adam.
Am I?
Apparently, only half here. Edgar's here.
Hello.
And Daniel's here.
Mostly here.
And we are on the penultimate episode, episode 9. We're ready to go here. But I did want to mention one more thing that I forgot to mention last time. Amongst people that are in the tent town, one of them is your Red Ranger. Demorphed, he's not in his uniform anymore. But he does have his arm in a sling and a wrapping on his head covering his bug-like antenna. He smiles and actually gives you a hug with his one good arm.
Oh, careful, you get wet, I'm holding them up.
You always did do that.
Well, you know, things get dirty, and I like them to be clean.
That's our job, isn't it? Cleaning things up.
Yeah, I suppose so. So, just you what got out?
He nods and looks to you. Since the crash, I haven't made contact with any of the others. Have you?
No, I've just been trying to get back to space, and then like this whole war thing happened, and we went to the moon, and then we died for a minute or something. It's all real confusing. I don't know.
That sounds like a heck of a story.
Yeah, so are you still able to connect to the grid?
I can still morph, yeah, but with this, he gestures to his busted arm. I think I'm going to be out of commission for a little while.
I suppose that makes sense. But, I got to talk to Zordon. That was kind of nice.
You saw Zordon?
Yeah, like in person.
Wow. Last I heard, you lost him.
Nah, we met him in the dead. He's real nice.
I've heard stories.
Yeah.
You seem different.
Well, you know, I've been trying to fit in and pretend like I'm one of them people, so, you know, it's been a long time since we were what we were.
He's nodding along to your story and understanding that things have been tough, and looks to you, looks around, and did you notice that time was different when we crashed?
Time? Wait, how you mean?
He mentions that they got the call from Zordon to provide support on Earth in the 90s. But when he woke up after the crash, it was in the 2000s.
I mean, had you just been, like, asleep for a while or something?
It's possible, but I woke up on the moon captured.
That's weird.
Where did you wake up?
Somewhere out in Arizona.
So we don't even know if the others are even on Earth.
No idea.
He gestures to the yard. Looks like we've got access to better equipment than we did.
Yeah, maybe when this is all done, we can find some way to find the others.
He pats your shoulder with his good arm. We will find the others.
Yeah. So the artifact in the Ark?
And about this time is when Mainframe runs out from the Ark and says, hey, we've got this transmission coming in from Cobra Commander and Megatron and Lord Zed.
Okay.
Mainframe takes you guys into the Ark, and he's standing there with Wheeljack, who's got his arms crossed and looking at the big golden-colored computer system they have called Teletran 1. And Mainframe points to it and says, we've got 3 different transmissions coming in, all 3 of the different villains we're facing. Now, obviously they can't track our transmissions, but it's clear that they're tracking each other's. So if we respond to one, the other 2 are going to know. But I'll tell you this, all 3 of their transmissions just read basically the same way. They're offering to help take out one of the other 2.
You know how I love how these guys all stick together?
Boy.
Duke is standing there with Mainframe, and he's got his arms crossed, and he looks over to the 3 of you. So the question is, if we respond at all, which one do we answer?
Which one's the lesser of the 3 evils?
Okay, let's approach this logically. Cobra Commander is entirely based here on Earth. Okay, Zed has forces here on Earth and on the moon. Megatron has forces here, on the moon, and on Cybertron. So I say the bigger threat would be the Decepticons.
I mean, you could say that, but, like, as you pointed out, a lot of these other folks have resources elsewhere to take out Cobra.
True, but I would say Cobra is more of a localized threat, whereas the other 2 are interplanetary.
But you just beating them back for later, for them to come back to us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think we should side with the biggest threat and take out the other 2.
I think the biggest threat would be the Decepticons. Would be my personal opinion.
Who's the biggest threat? I think that the Decepticons probably have the largest army. I think Zed and his minions have the capacity to grow the most. And that's not even an intended pun.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that
That's-
is true.
That is funny and a good point. Well, now think about it. Now, if we
What's the
could band together, do they have the capacity to take out Cybertron?
As far as I know, with what, like Zed and them, like, I don't want to work with them, but, like, they are what they are. They're not really, like, quabbling backstabbers like that, Megatron fella you was telling me about, or the Cobra fella you was telling me about. Like, they seem like they're going to pounce at the moment, as soon as they can.
They are more organized and focused.
I feel like, especially with them Decepticons, they'd be easier to, like, cause infighting and stuff, because they seem like they quabble a lot.
They
In
do.
Cobra, we could collapse them from the inside because it's basically just a whole bunch of hotheads.
Who are banded together with a common goal.
Yeah.
But the hottest head leads.
Right.
Which is not always Cobra Commander.
Yeah, we could easily collapse Cobra from the inside. I mean, just have
So you're saying join with Cobra? Or join with...
I think we should. So here's the thing.
Well, no, he makes a good point.
Yeah, no, he does, and that's what I was getting at. Is that Megatron already has footholds, Earth, Moon, and Cybertron.
Mm-hmm.
Zed and Rita could easily go full blown intergalactic. Because
He makes a good point. They make their own soldiers out of nothing.
well, there's that too. But think about it like this:
I mean, they have
if
Plato soldiers. Right?
based upon our recent adventure on the moon, and you're from another planet altogether. So what's
The
to say?
Decepticons have ruled Cybertron for, hundreds? No, millions of years now.
So the thing is,
Like 4 million years.
there's other worlds with other life forms. Not to mention other dimensions, as we also encountered. And Rita and Zed can easily conquer all the worlds, all the dimensions. They would be the greatest threat.
Is there a way to rein them into civility?
Probably not.
Well,
What do
then
you think?
this would be a two-pronged deal.
I mean, we tried to, make them understand and come to civility and stuff, and I mean, they had to end up getting killed instead. But that is the thing, like, they can be killed.
So if we're going to band together with Zed and Rita, well, I don't want the evil empire coming back later.
Cobra seems like the smallest threat, and also the least able to really help us against one force or the other.
It's true.
Yeah, I think it either comes down to Zed and Rita or the Decepticons. Of course, now the Zed and Rita can make giant monsters to fight the Decepticons. That's good. Infinite soldiers. Boom, 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 putty, putty, putty. What do you think?
That's what I think. Is side with the Decepticons for now.
Oh god, that can go south in a split second. So any of these can go south in a
Go
split
ahead and remember why they're called that.
It's in the name!
It's like Swindle.
What? He cheated me? Never saw Swindle doing that.
What? Swindle give you a bad deal? Nah. I mean, for what it's worth, I'm not going to trust no Decepticon, says Wheeljack, who's just kind of standing off to the side while you guys discuss this.
Okay, well,
We don't have to trust them. We just need to use them.
let's run this up. Let's run this out there and see what you think, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You have seen a good side of Zed. Maybe Rita? Is that yes or no?
You guys haven't met her, but he did talk about her.
Okay.
I mean, they are married.
Anyone ever seen a good side of a Decepticon?
Drift over in the corner. For those of you that don't know, Drift was formerly a Decepticon that went Autobot. Somewhere outside Jetfire's like,
Out of the three that are, if you want to apply the term trustworthy to any of these three,
I don't trust any of them.
No,
Like
I don't.
We just, like, they obviously are not on the same side anymore. enemy my enemy and all that.
I'm going to lean toward Rita and Zed.
Well, then you're the decider, unless you decide that you're still obsessed with Cobra and you want to side with him instead.
No, Cobra wouldn't be able to help us in this fight.
Well, then Kensei, the deciding vote is yours.
Great.
Anyone got the Jeopardy music?
Last time I had to make a major decision, it took me 4 days.
What?
You know, give me about 5 minutes. And I want to take 7 breaths and make a decision. So I want to drop down with my legs crossed and assume a meditative position.
People around you are giving you weird looks, but of all people, it's Duke that tells them, "No, back up. Give them space."
All right. In reality, it's going to be a coin flip.
Which is which?
Cobra side will be Rita and Zed, and
We're siding with them?
yeah. And G.I. Joe side will be the Decepticons, and I'm not going to catch it.
G.I. Joe side? Oh, never mind, I got you.
And so I'm not going to catch it. I'm just going to let it land. Wherever it lands.
What is it?
Decepticons.
It is.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So, Kensei, you stand up after 5 minutes and 7 breaths. What do you say?
He's lightheaded.
Shut up. The Decepticons. I think that would be our best bet.
Well, while we're siding with them, let us gather all the intel we can on them, because it's going to be a big fight later.
Absolutely.
We put these guys on a leash.
Wheeljack chuckles and says, "I'll get B on that. He may be the smallest of us, but he's also our best infiltrator.
I mean, that makes sense.
And if you want someone shot, we'll get Cliff Jumper, but
Alright, so, who's going to answer the phone?
Yeah.
Mainframe will go over and he's actually has to climb up onto the computer and actually step on it with his foot.
Why?
Because it's huge. The computer's enormous. It's Autobot sized.
I was going to say, it's a Cybertronian computer. It's like the size of a house.
Mm-hmm. Mainframe was the one monitoring, so he's the one that gets up there. And he hits a button. 2 of the transmissions disappear. They cut off immediately. The second you answer the Decepticon call, both of the Cobra and the alien forces, they just hang up on. Because they figure you've made your call. But then the screen blares with the image of Megatron standing there with his smirk, leaning back in his chair. "I see you finally made a decision."
It was hard.
"I would think it would be the simplest thing in the world, choosing to side with the strongest team. But then again, you are an Autobot."
I'm over here like...
So,
Prime's got his arms crossed.
Oh, I bet you he's happy with the pig and shit right now.
It seemed Megatron like you had no problem being manhandled by Cobra Commander earlier. What happened? He not call back or something?
Oh, please don't piss him off.
Please don't piss him off.
Is that an intimidation or a persuasion? What is that?
It's a sass.
Sarcasm! I mean, come on, geez.
Sarcasm.
I wouldn't expect someone bathed in a colorful light to understand the subtleties of deception.
Bathed in what?
Bathed in light.
I mean, that's fair. I'll just go back to cleaning my bed. I never powered up.
Damn custodians get everywhere.
It's me, Scruffy, the janitor.
Yes! Well, since we're adding our resources to yours, we should decide which of the 2 factions we are attacking.
I think...
Bigger threat would be Zed and Rita.
Quite literally. He presses a button and a little sub-screen pops up. On this screen, you see this massive dragon-shaped machine circling over the planet. That's Lord Zed's Zord, Serpentera. And you know that it is...
What? I never saw that.
Oh, it's massive. Like, it overviews the entire city. It's easily 5 times larger than the Megazord. The big thing with Serpentera from the show was it's insanely powerful, yes, but it also has a very finite battery.
It runs out of energy really quick.
I was going to say D-cells.
But looking at this thing, it's nothing to joke about. This thing could wipe out entire civilizations if it wanted.
Could this thing be powered by energon? What?
Megatron pulls a face and puts his hand up against his chin. Most assuredly.
Oh, no. You gave them energon, didn't you?
They were mining dark energon for us.
Ultra forms.
Unfortunately, we did not anticipate that they would take some for themselves.
So it runs on dark. Okay, so this thing is running on dark energon. Do you have any ideas, Megatron?
He smirks. I'm on my way to you now.
Oh.
And it cuts off.
Oi.
Give me awareness checks, everybody. Or alertness, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you.
Alertness?
Alertness.
Give me a coin.
I flipped.
I'll give you your favorite color.
Oh, thanks.
You got heads!
Is that 1 or 2?
That's 1.
Okay. Can.
10 potential critical.
Not alert. 19.
Alright.
Actually, sorry. That's a 9.
So, the ones that got 10 or less, you do feel the ground rumble. With yours, you can hear the approach of something massive in the air. Zord, this sounds slower. And when you look out...
Guys, it's America Online. We gotta go outside.
Wow. Speaking of slow. Do you go outside?
Yeah, I'm following.
When you step off of the little ramp leading out of the Ark and into the little tent town, a shadow is going over all the tents. And when you look up, it looks like a floating city with 3 peaks and ramps that slowly comes down with the Decepticon logo on the center tower. And it lands far enough away not to crush anybody, but certainly close enough to where the wave of dust and debris hits you all in the face.
I just cleaned!
Do I recognize this?
You are looking at Triptychon base. Walking down from the base is Megatron himself, flanked by Starscream and Soundwave. Keeping their position, it's just polite, I guess would be the term, to not walk right into a person's base. Meet on neutral ground, technically.
The tent city.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people are poking their head out and cowering behind their tents for what good that would do.
Aside before we communicate.
1 second. We'll be right there. Don't go nowhere.
They want to take out the other 2 factions. Bless you.
Yeah.
They want our help.
Uh-huh.
But they have possession of the artifact.
Who does? Do they?
Decepticon.
How do you know they still have it? How do you know it wasn't taken?
Last time we saw it on the moon base.
Rita's moon
When
base.
they threw us through it.
Right.
But it was all 3 factions.
Guess we won't know if we don't ask.
Or we just pretend that we know that it was taken. And
We don't know if it was taken.
yeah, I know, but then if we just say, oh, do you still have it, they can bluff.
That's a very good point.
I'm actually kind of smart.
Are you?
Smarter than me.
He's got...
That 18, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 18.
Yeah, you're smarter than me.
Yeah, he's got Grimlock energy. What? Grimlock speaks real slow and dumb and speaks in the third person. He's actually a very intelligent robot.
Well, he doesn't act on his intelligence.
Not normally, but typically speaking, he's actually much smarter than he lets on. And everyone underestimates him because he sounds like a moron.
Swoop was stupid.
Most of them were stupid.
Yeah. Okay, now how do you want to address the elephant in the room, the artifact? We could ask them, how can we use the artifact to defeat the other 2 factions?
That's a good start.
And that will make them either say they don't have it or they do have it.
Sure.
What do you think?
I like it.
All right, you're the smartest one. Go ahead.
But I ain't hurdy. I have the worst social. My social score is 3.
Social score?
My social score is below 18.
Ooh, you're the most social. Okay.
Go out there and be
You're smart.
charismatic.
You're smart. You're pretty, and apparently I'm fast.
I'm also fast.
What's your best?
I'm
19.
But you got dimples. Go out there.
Okay, so we got smart, pretty, and fast. Let's just go be in a damn Vin Diesel movie.
It's all about family.
Come on, family!
Actually, I only have a 6 in social.
Still twice what I have. I have a 5.
Okay, so I'm only slightly prettier.
Okay, well, believe me. Okay, Autobot, not friendly. Okay, sorry.
Alright, I'll go treat with him.
All right, go ahead.
Alright,
Go ahead, pretty.
so what am I supposed to do?
Well, I mean, bring up in the course of the coming conversation ask them how they want to use the artifact to defeat the other two factions. That'll make them reveal whether or not they have possession of it still. Because last time we saw it, we were going through it.
Slash. That's not what their plan is.
No, that too.
Okay. I walk over to Megatron and look up at him and say, "Greetings, Mighty One."
Ah, yes, I remember you. The ant I threw through the gates.
Yes. What is your plan for combining forces with us?
He crosses his arms and nods a little bit. A full frontal assault on that monster machine. Once we take that out, their forces will be easier to deal with.
So, my big question, aside from that, is what prompted you guys to have your great schism to not work together anymore?
It's complicated.
So was my last relationship.
It was complicated getting out of the dead universe. What happened while we were over there?
Let's just say we don't see eye to eye on how resources should be spent.
Sure, he's real tall. Yeah, he's not so much.
Your friend is blunt and to the point.
Well, one thing is that you can take any of the opposing faction and dispose of them easily through the artifact.
You know much about that, do you?
Yeah, I went through it.
Well, there's complications regarding that.
You didn't break it, did you?
Don't insult us! We didn't break it, and it's not broken, it's just stuck! Megatron has his hand over Starscream's face.
So you don't have it anymore.
It won't seem.
Made you let down?
Oh, I got 5 in smarts.
Major letdown. No, I know what I want to name my Joe.
I love it. Megatron pulls a face. Well, since my subordinate has foolishly blabbed his mouth, and Starscream whimpers. He gestures to Soundwave, who kind of tilts his head down, and his chest becomes a screen that shows a not fully detailed schematic, but a blueprinty 3D image of Serpentera with a single glowing yellow dot in about the chest area. And Megatron explains that that they built, the oversized one, is currently what is powering this monster. It's funneling Dark Energon directly from the dead universe into its power core.
Oh, no.
Oh,
That's unlimited.
I got a question. Do we have another way of going back there?
Well, what happened to the little artifact?
Wait, are y'all saying you want to go back through there to get to that gate? To get inside that thing?
Not necessarily.
We destroy the gate from the other side, it stops getting energy.
That still means we have to go back into that godforsaken place.
I mean, we got out once.
There's not a guarantee to get out a second time.
Wait. What happened to the little one?
You remember that the Autobots have the original relic, and they really don't want the Decepticons to know they have the original
I thought they took the little one.
They tried to, remember? You pushed it through the ground bridge.
That's right. They never got it. They just got the schematics on it. They built
They
their
scanned that damn thing. I remember now.
While you guys were busy fighting over in the lab, they were over in the mainframe stealing the data.
Yeah, and we pushed the trailer through the ground bridge. That's
Yeah.
right.
And that's how you got it to the Ark.
But they
It is
got all
now.
the data to build the huge one.
Yes.
Do you
So
have enough data to build another one?
We could, but the resources required would be astronomical.
How'd you get the resources for the other one?
Well, you recall we did have a temporary alliance. They had resources from Cobra to build the... This time they don't.
Destro or Dr. Mindbender.
Yeah, between the two of them, they could easily... But they're not in good terms right now.
No, wait a minute.
Right.
Wait a minute. Just cause your alliance with Cobra went south, what if G.I. Joe reset? Yes,
Megatron will
100%.
take a step forward and put his fusion cannon right in your face. You can see the charge down the barrel as he looks you in the eye and warns you, if you go to that slithering snake in the grass, our deal is off.
Or we could not.
If I know Cobra Commander, his whole idea in helping out Rita and Zed is once the war is over, he'll take them out, and then he'll be the ruler of the universe.
Okay, Megatron, what did Cobra bring to the table to make it an appealing alliance for you in the first place?
I think that would be obvious after what I just said about resources.
Resources, okay. Financial or material?
So, Starscream mumbled something like, we wouldn't have had it happen if I'd been leader. Just get smacked as a result.
Okay, alright, so with their assistance of resources, do you happen to know where they got those resources? Could we get hands on more resources?
Not enough time frame.
Not enough time frame? Okay.
If that thing is powering it, what I might... It would be difficult, but what I might could do is try and warp us into the thing, to the gate itself, and then we could try and destroy it while...
Well, what type of shields does that thing have? Could he teleport in there?
If we have it distracted, it should have its defenses down long enough for someone to get inside.
Distraction. Okay. Okay, cannon fodder. What would be distracting?
That thing? I pointed the trip
Presses a button on his forearm, and the ship/city behind him, begins to shift and turn and fold up until standing hundreds of feet taller than you would even imagine is this giant T-Rex-like Mechagodzilla-looking monster of a Decepticon. I think we can get its attention.
Do you have any more of those?
One of a kind.
Alright, so... Well, sending that up into orbit against that, wouldn't that cause it to raise its defenses?
It can
focus outward instead of, inward.
Everywhere.
Megatron outlines that the Decepticons attack Serpentera with Trypticon to keep it focused on them. Meanwhile, you three teleport in and try to take out the relic, its power source, so that it can no longer function. And force basically Rita and Zed to retreat or go down with the ship.
Okay, Megatron, you guys built it. What is it vulnerable to?
Smashing. It is a delicate machine.
Alright.
So basically, we could just, for lack of a better term, remove its batteries?
That is
Smash it.
That is a reductive and simple way to put it, but yes. You and Starscream would get along famously.
That's not a compliment. Okay. How many critters are in that thing up there?
Inside Serpentera, you mean?
Yeah.
It's difficult to say with their capacity to create soldiers from literally nothing.
No.
Alright, well, maybe we need to go gear up real quick before heading out.
Do we need to take anyone else with us?
I don't know how many people I can actually take with me. It's not exactly easy to do this since y'all don't have access to the grid.
Not to mention, you count for like 4 people.
You call me fat?
No, I'm just saying.
Yes! Yes, insult him further!
Starscream. Well, I mean, okay, you're not just going to attack that thing with just this big dragon. Everyone's going to attack. All the Autobots, all the Decepticons are going to fly up there and be swarming around and attacking, right?
That is the plan, yes.
would make the most sense to come along if I could teleport more than just us?
Fighters.
Sure. RC ladies seem like a great fighter.
RC would be great.
I was going to say, you do have an entire elite team of fighters.
Not to mention we could bring several of the Joes.
That's what I meant.
Bigger fighters.
Bigger isn't always better.
That's true. How much space is there in this thing?
Yeah, I was about to say, the area where this artifact is going to be room for Super Pig?
Probably, honestly. With given that thing's bigger than that thing.
That thing's supposed to be a city.
Alright, well, why don't you two gather the folk you want to bring, because I could probably bring quite a few, now that I think about it.
We need technical support. I would definitely want to bring Dalton and Mainframe.
Alright, that's easy enough. RC, Wheeljack, they're going to count for 2 people.
I want Gung Ho, Roadblock.
How about one more Autobot? I don't want to take a deception.
Ah, come on now. I make great company.
Shut up. Swindle!
Unfortunately, we've lost contact with Swindle. He's gone ghost on us.
What about, is Ironhide available?
Ironhide cracks his knuckles. Anytime.
Alright, there we go.
That's our 2.
Alright, who all do you have for my own sanity?
So, from the Joes, Dial Tone, Mainframe, Gung Ho, and Roadblock. From the Transformers, we have RC, Wheeljack, and Ironhide.
Sounds
That's
good.
a pretty damn good team, guys. It really is.
That does sound pretty awesome. I would pay good money to see that one on the big screen. Get on that, Hasbro. Anyway.
Let's take a half hour and prepare, and then head on up.
So for the sake of brevity, we'll say that you do all your procurement, you go get all the items that you need to get, you get all the weapons that you wanted to get, you get your grapple, you get your explosive throwing stars, you pick up your med kit, and then 30 minutes pass.
You can see that Decepticon base is starting to fold back down into a spaceship. It's not the full city, it's the spaceship mode that he's going into.
Hold on, and I'll summon my spiral sword and kind of wait it.
Cool.
And Razorback showing up.
In the space where the Triptychon was, Razorback Zord will come charging in full light glory with the blazing hooves and shining as it does in the light, and then comes skidding to a stop, lets out a big squeal.
And so, I'll make a little jump in the air. The frame will change. I'm sitting in the cockpit. Not clear how I got in, but, there I am.
Yeah.
Over the loudspeakers. All right, y'all, Joe's Autobots, everybody in. Ride's here.
RC transforms down into her sports car mode. Ironhide becomes the red van. The Joes pile into them and ride up underneath the Razorback.
Kensei, you getting in?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Alright. Kensei loads up into Postmark, and you drive up underneath the Razorback that lowers the platform for all the vehicles to get on. And it joins up into its torso area. Above head, you can see that there's explosions going off. The fight has begun.
Oh, wow, that was fast. All right, everybody. Hold on. Insert key, turn key.
Yeah.
Go, Joe!
Yeah. All the Joes. Joe! You feel the white energy morphing grid rush over the Zord. When you come back out of the grid and land on the solid ground, you are inside this massive, ancient-looking machine. And you can see the supersized Decepticon-built relic, full energy, coursing with dark energon. And around it, just hundreds of monsters, a few that are full size, and they all look to you as you enter.
Razorback's gonna go charging in and slide on his belly, releasing a gigantic frost breath, and as it's sliding, open the side doors for everybody to pile out as it's shooting into this mess.
Nice. And the Autobots will peel out with Gung Ho and roadblock leading out of Ironhide, blazing guns. And,
So he frosts the ground. Here comes a postal vehicle.
spinning.
Oh, crap!
We don't do so well in different environments. But like Ironhide, when he comes out, like his wheels instantly get like chains on them, and RC is skidding across, but doing her thing. As you're sliding, you're taking out putties left and right. The bigger, more beefy monsters are able to handle being hit. Yeah,
Okay.
You're seeing monsters like there's a skeleton with a magician's hat. There's this thing with multiple eyes. There's this thing that looks like a chicken.
Oh, no. I remember that damn chicken. Nope, that one's mine.
Okay. Describe physically the room.
Okay. You're forcing me to use my imagination here.
Specs. What specs?
Picture the inside of a whale, but made out of alien-style technology, where it's all ribbed and has ceilings super high up. Easily, you could fit a Megazord in here.
Okay. Good.
Wide. It's
open, no posts or pylons or columns.
It's all very circular.
Okay.
In the center is
no
the relic.
obstructions, nowhere to hide, nowhere to crash into. That's a good thing.
Box right over there if you got to deliver.
There's a mailbox.
One mailbox just sitting in the middle of everything. A putty looks at it, looks at you, pushes it over.
Are we going to roll for initiative?
Yes, you are.
Will you guys act on my initiative?
Yes.
What do you mean?
It's my White Ranger thing.
Yeah, his special thing where he can make your initiatives better.
Alright, so I roll, you don't roll.
Oh.
Okay, that's pretty good. So 18 plus a d6. So 5. So I have an initiative of 23.
Mm-hmm.
You each roll a d4 and subtract that from 23, and that is your initiative.
22.
It's a win.
Yep. So 23, 22, and 22.
Okay.
I love this
Do we
class.
roll off?
I think Kensei's probably faster than you.
Yeah.
No,
what's your
I'm the
speed?
fastest.
Oh, you are? Okay.
He's
Then,
the he's the smart one, the pretty one, and I'm the fast one.
Got it. So it's Jack, followed by Postmark,
The
followed
only
by
reason why I'm
Kensei.
pretty is because I got a +2 bonus off of one of my class perks.
Masters and J's. All right. Jack, you are first to act.
I am stepping on that chicken.
Dang, all right, Mr. Bojang.
I remember you! I'm going to run up and I'm going to Tuscan.
Okay. Roll your test.
He's a Tuscan Raider!
You hit him. Feathers.
That motherfucker.
That was you.
What's the closest threatening thing to me?
Now, there are several monsters close to you. There's a whole bunch of putties. The relic itself is a good 100 yards or so down the way. Just enemies.
All right,
You're dealing with a block party of enemies.
can I have flown out?
You won't.
That makes more sense. You described an environment that's conducive to flying, no obstructions.
Nope. I'll also add that there are portholes with energy over them. You can see out into the atmosphere. You guys are low orbit right now, and you can see Tripticon firing blasts at Serpentera. Hundreds of Seekers flying around. Conspicuously, no Cobra anywhere.
Okay, now that I'm in converted form, I only have access to my shotguns. All right, I'm going to come in. Okay, now I'm going to aim 3 times. That's going to be a D6 on 3 of my 6 shots I will be taking.
Sounds good.
Well, that's a miss.
Okay.
I don't even think a D4 to that would help.
No.
I'm going to waste. I'm going to waste it. All right, second of the D6 rolls. Worse.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be a 19.
Okay.
Now we drop down to the D4s.
Alright.
Worse. Worsest.
Oh, my God.
19.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, out of the 6 shots, 2 might have hit something.
Yeah.
Okay, with my 15-foot cone, 2 shots hit for a total of 1 sharp damage per.
Okay. So you take out a few putties easily. You do hit a couple of the beefier monsters, but they look more annoyed by the attack than injured.
You're not laughing at me.
You have their attention now. Kensei, you are flying in Postmark as he's
Please do better.
trying to rain fire down on everybody, but just missing left and right.
I guess I'll take shots with my reason. Alright, so I want to downshift on this roll. Be able to deal 1 sharp to 3 targets in a 15-foot cold.
16, okay. You take out a couple of putties, and you also take out one of the monsters that he injured. This big, it looks like just a pig's head, but with arms sticking out, wearing a Trojan horse helmet.
I remember that guy.
Has a giant fork and knife.
I remember him. Season 1, I believe.
Yeah.
Where's the rest of the joke?
The two small, Mainframe and what was the other one?
Dalton.
They are riding in Wheeljack, who is making as straight a line as he can toward the relic while avoiding attacks and fire being rained down from his own teammates. RC's on her own. She's just starting to peel out. Ironhide has Roadblock and Gung Ho, but it isn't their turn yet. It's the monsters. And right now the monsters are focusing a lot on the Joes and the Autobots, but there are a few that are going to aim for you guys up in the helicopter, Postmark vehicle hybrid thing. As you're flying at 15 feet high, swinging at you, standing a good 30 feet tall, is this giant fish monster thing that's wielding what looks like 2 fish on a chain. Yeah, he's going to hit you with one of those fish. Not only is it going to do 2 blunt damage, but it's also going to do 1 cold damage as your rotors begin to freeze.
Oh, great.
Mentioned the skeleton with the wizard hat is going to cast a spell with its sword, throwing lightning at you. It's only going to do 1 lightning damage to you. But, even though it's human-sized, it's still hurting your Zord, which says something. On the battlefield, not much is dealing with RC, but there are enemies getting in Wheeljack's way. One of them hits him real hard in the front fender, causing Wheeljack and Dial Tone and Mainframe to spin out. You don't see whether or not they crash, because it slides into a group of enemies that are swarming him. Over with Ironhide and Gung-Ho and Roadblock, there are putties crawling on top of Ironhide and smashing his windows, and you can hear him yelling, "They're swarming us like ants!" And that brings us to the Joes, and Gung-Ho and Roadblock, they're just laying out cover fire with heavy machine guns. It's taking out a couple of little monsters, but for the bigger ones, it doesn't even seem to be phasing them. Over by RC, she converts mid-run, and she's slicing down enemies left and right, but she's got a good 20 of them on her alone, and she's doing that whole circle of death thing, where it's just her in a perfect circle of enemies. Wheeljack is in that dog pile of enemies. You can see several of them fly off as you think like an explosion or something. Light pours out. Wheeljack is converted, and he's got some kind of weird shaped, almost looks like an underslung gun thing, but it's not shooting bullets, it's shooting lasers on his shoulder.
Laser mini cannon.
Yeah, a laser mini cannon. When it hits the enemies, they're not getting blasted so much as they're glitching. And on his shoulders are Dial Tone and Mainframe. That's the Joes, that's the monsters, brings us back to Jack.
We're here for a reason. I'm going to go to that relic. I imagine it's not going to take me long to get to it. What if I just run barrel into it? Not trying to make a calculated attack, just throw my weight against it.
Okay, so you try and do a ramming attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
Cool.
I believe it is a driving check to do the ramming attack.
Sure.
Then it's however much feet that you moved times whatever, how many damage. I have the calculation here.
12. Makes sense that it wouldn't be that good anyway, just sort of flinging my body at it.
You do still get to the relic, no problem, because you're using full speed.
Sure.
You've moved a good 100 yards, so a lot of space to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
You do slam right into this thing,
Sure.
and it does crackle and convulse a little bit, but it's not destroyed. You did damage it quite a bit, but it's still up and running.
Alright, well, I'm going to pass out inspirations to the same people, and that'll be my turn.
Postmark, Your rotors are frozen.
I really don't want to sound like I was copying what he did, but everything was going. I was planning on what to do because my rotors were frozen.
Mhm.
I was going to shut down my rotors and drop straight down on top of some putties and just floor it and just plow through the putties all the way up. Aiming for putties.
Okay.
Not big critters.
Okay.
And just,
Could have you do a
I
ram.
hadn't really planned on utilizing any of my shotguns.
Okay.
Just straight ramming hellfire.
Sounds good to me.
I hadn't planned on blasting. I want to fully concentrate all of my attention on pure rampaging chaos, avoiding the large monsters, aiming for putties, but still going toward the relic.
All right, give me a driving check.
Not bad. And 16 plus. I want to make that a 19.
All right.
Beautiful. You turn off the rotor blades and land real hard right on top of one putty. It's just like, and you tires squeal as you start charging through. You're crashing into frozen putties from where he.
Okay, I want Kensei like waving the Uzi out the window, going, "Get out of the way!"
But yeah, you're just destroying him as you're driving through. You're not going to get as far as he does because he's a giant vehicle versus your.
I do want to push myself.
Okay.
How many free actions do I get?
You can go an extra 5 feet per push up to half your speed. So yeah, you can spend all 4 of your free actions pushing yourself to get an extra 20 feet out.
Because I am just emptying the can and just going through. So how far did I get?
110 feet.
How close am I to the relic?
Well, the relic was 100 yards away, so you're still you're only like a third of the way there.
Okay.
Kensei, not only did you just suddenly drop 15 feet onto a putty and then peel out as fast as an LLV can go.
25 miles an hour!
I'm just gonna keep bursting the Uzi.
Okay.
22.
Nice. Several enemies go down. And
you're action to reload.
Cool. Yeah, you're clearing out space. You're making it easier for Postmark to drive toward the relic, which is still about 200 feet away. That brings me to the monsters. Interesting. All of the monsters, all of them, including the big ones, are all going to suddenly duck as the walls begin to glow with a dark purple energy.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hear, way down the line, something roaring toward you. Outside through the open force fields. You still see the battle going on, Decepticons flying around, Tripticon, full bore, Godzilla blasting from his mouth, and the little blaster on top of his head. Both cannons are firing. It seems to be bouncing off of Serpentera, the parts that you can see anyway.
Right.
And you can see its head from your position try to snap at Tripticon, but Tripticon is, full bore blasting.
Where's Cobra installed us?
It's interesting how they're
Interestingly absent, yeah.
That has me worried.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah, it should.
As for the Joes and the Transformers, RC is still. She was in the middle of fighting off these monsters. They all ducked suddenly. She's like, "Huh?" Looks to you in the Zord. She gives you that look like, "What's the order?"
Duck.
She hits the ground.
Winning wrong.
Yeah.
I love ducks.
Wheeljack is going to catch on immediately. Grab Mainframe and holds them to his chest as he ducks down and acts as a shield for them. Ironhide is still in van mode, and Roadblock and Gumho get in. So, Jack, now it is your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna look at whatever was happening.
Alertness check.
I have edge on that.
Cool.
Oh, frickin' I don't see anything. I got a 1 and a 4.
Oh, wow. You don't see it, but you do hear the roaring crackle of energy that is swiftly approaching.
Alright, well, I am just going to position my... So, what does the relic look like?
Think like a Stargate.
Cool. I'm gonna, on one side of it, I want to position my tusks so it's like this, and just rip, and try and shatter the relic.
Okay. Give me a brawn on that one.
I'm done with that. It's a natural one.
So natural, so critical fail.
Well, yep. Oh, 1 and a 1.
Oh!
Wow.
A 1 on the 20 and a 1 on the 6.
So you go to hook your tusks in. You go to twist your head. Your tusks break off.
No.
Alright.
All right. Postmark.
I take Jack to the dentist. I am going to 100%.
You just see a Tyrannosaurus Megazord in a white coat.
I'm still
leaning over with a drill.
full bore continue as is.
Sounds good. Give me a driving check if you're going to be smashing into anything on the way there.
I imagine at this point, still a driving checks, but if you were ducking and not paying attention to you, they're not jumping in your way, so it's an easier time. Unless
Am I inspired?
Yes. Unless I say otherwise, I use my free actions to inspire.
Standing order, sir.
Yeah.
Boom, baby! 18.
Double 4. Oh, yeah.
Double fours on D4s.
Because there's less in your way, I'm going to go ahead and say you get all the way to the relic this time.
But I push myself all the way I can't attack.
Yeah, you are completely exhausted by the time you get
The
there.
dude who was in you.
I'm gonna jump out and I want to throw one of my exploding stars at it and see if I can.
That's 19, 22 critical.
Yeah, you're going to do some damage to that thing. A light on the very far back from where you were erupts as this giant energy beam crashes down the length of Serpentera, slamming into the relic itself and continuing, going from like an electric type energy to clearly a dark powered energy. Those of you that did not duck or get out of the way in some fashion, which I think is all of you because you're all standing right in front of the relic, are going to take 5 electric damage.
Well, I'm at -3.
So you're at 0. There is no negative in this game. You still have your energon that you can push.
Yeah, because I didn't sell it all to the Decepticons.
1 or 2 rounds you can act as normal.
1.
So you got next round to figure yourself out. How bad is the Zord damaged? Alright. Kensei, are you still alive?
Yeah, really.
Alright. So, as soon as that blast of energy goes,
5.
it's amplified by the relic and rushes out. You can see
Right, I thought it was coming from behind.
it came from behind, down the length of Serpentera, hit the relic,
And reflected?
no, on the other side, was amplified and turned into a dark energy as it rushed the rest of the way.
Okay.
And you can see through the porthole, Serpentera opened its mouth and poured that energy onto Triptychon.
Interesting.
That just ripped apart a good 2/3 of its body.
So just the light itself is all that hurt us, not the dark energy.
Yeah, you guys got hit by the pre-amplified energy.
Noted.
As soon as that light goes through and that attack is done, all the monsters start standing back up.
Oh.
Cool. Not cool. No.
Actually, I want to use my Dust of Grace ability and make that just 1 damage.
All right.
And I am going to... Thank you for reminding me I have abilities. I'm going to use...
help.
What is it? Sidestep.
Does everyone but me have a way of avoiding this? Wait a minute. I might have something.
You might want to look that up while they're figuring themselves out. I will say this. RC was fine, because she did in fact hit the dirt and avoided the attack itself. Wheeljack, however, is on the ground fried out. Dialtone and the mainframe are over him, trying their best to repair him. He's clearly in bad shape. Ironhide has a good side of him. It's just burnt and the paint is bubbled and looks wrecked. And he's smoking as 2 of his tires have melted to the floor. Roadblock and Gung-Ho step out and they're doing their best to defend him as he's recovering from the shock of this massive attack. It's going to come back to Jack.
Alright, so his ninja stars, how badly did they damage the relic?
Give me a technology roll.
Critical 24.
Wow. You think that just a few more good solid hits could probably take this thing out. It's spazzing a little bit.
Alright. So what effect did my broken tusks have on my ability to attack?
You won't be able to gore anything, obviously.
Sure.
You do still have your frozen breath attack.
I guess, okay, I can try and do something with that.
You could try to just blunt force ram your body into things.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Zordon did tell you that in a time of great need, you can call upon a power and gave your Zord the combiner feature.
I'm going to try and combine with Postmark. I need Megazord power now!
Postmark, quite against your will, you transform into a robot mode and begin to grow, become the same size as the monsters around you. But you're also going to convert further. Your arms will fold back, your head folds down. You become the central part of this machine. As, like with Optimus Prime, the Razorback splits in half and becomes the boots. And Kensei, you feel peripherally that a sentient machine is responding to you in the form of one of the Sky Strikers as it peels through subspace and shoots into this massive area and itself begins to transform. The bottom folding out into arms and the first half splitting down the middle to land on top of Postmark. The three of you becoming a full Megazord.
And I'll form the head.
The head folds up from the Sky Striker, a visor flips down. You guys, as one, just strike a giant pose. You get health back because you're technically all one machine now. You are now on the same scale as this machine.
Towering.
Yes. Whereas before, the Zord was huge. It was gigantic. It was big enough that it could probably go through.
Mm-hmm.
But now the relic stands maybe about lower mid-chest area.
Can we communicate with anyone else?
Inside of your chest area, which is now effectively the chest of the Megazord, Kensei is sitting at one console, Jack is sitting at another. The back wall pushes out and folds down until it is your head inside of this machine.
Oh, cool. I love the idea of that. It's just like your head's in there.
They're like Zordon's head.
Cool.
Okay.
Now, the funny thing with Megazords, you all will roll whenever it takes an action. It is one creature.
Okay.
And if 2 out of 3 of you succeed, the Megazord succeeds.
All right. I like that. That's fair. All right. Hey.
So what weapon do we have?
Hey. Smushy.
Well, what do we have access to in this new form? Because typically, okay, well, I recall the Megazord suddenly had a sword.
Yes. When you have the Megazord hold out its hand, lightning strikes and this massive gold and ivory sword made of pure energy forms in your hand. I need everybody to make a attack roll for that.
That doesn't make me.
22.
You know how in every episode of the Power Rangers they do that one really cool finishing move with the sword? Yeah, that happens.
Yep.
It does the blur, it does the cool swooshy background, it does the 3 times shot.
From different angles.
An energy wave shoots out, it crashes through the relic, smashes it in half, it explodes. All the monsters are screaming as they try to run for cover, and you turn around, pose, explosion behind you.
So, want to use whatever we have left to be like, our job's done, let's get them and get out, and just open up the hands and start just running down at everybody, trying to pick everybody up in this Megazord's hand.
Yeah, you scoop up RC and Wheeljack, who still looks in bad shape.
Who's the one who's melted to the floor?
Ironhide.
Is he okay?
When you go to pick him up, it's like he's stuck there for a second, but you pull.
Sorry, buddy.
Mighty Morphin Spatula!
He yells out, Transaxle! Roadblock and Gung Ho jump on your thumb as you lift them up. I mean, Fam and Dialtone, they were on a Wheeljack, so when you scooped up Wheeljack, you got them too. They're still in the process of trying to repair him.
I integrate all of them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
At least the Transformers, not the Joes.
All right. So as you pick him up and all the other Autobots,
He transforms into a hand cannon
nice.
off the side of the hands. Same with, who was the other one?
Ironhide.
Ironhide. Meanwhile, RC transforms into a shoulder cannon.
That's awesome. So yeah, you guys are one giant Megazord with wheeljack cannon, Ironhide cannon.
If I am part of another creature, does my abilities transfer?
Yeah, sure, why not? What are you trying to do?
Get him Weapon Master and Bang Bang.
Yes, they do. Because that's how Zords work.
So now you have.
I mean, I could have protected martial arts.
I mean, now you can.
Oh, okay.
So now you have 3 shots from each blaster.
So that's 6. That's 9 shots just from the Transformers.
Yeah, I'm done with the sword. I let the sword go.
Yeah.
So
By the way, help yourself to my explosive ammunition.
hey man, where'd you get this stuff?
You know what? I'm not even going to require a roll. This is too cool. Best part about this is it's not just taking out the monsters. It's bursting holes through Serpentera.
Oh.
You are perforating this giant Zord.
Each one of the shots
turning it
to
into a
hit
sieve.
Each one of the shots to hit does 3 deadly. Sharp.
Yeah, you're
Explosive.
Just, the battlefield has this thing writhing as parts of it are being blown off. Triptychon looks messed up, but it's converting back into what it can of the base mode and retreating because this is done. You guys have handled this. In the cockpit of Serpentera, Rita and Zed are yelling out that this is impossible. How dare they? Rita's like, I've got a headache! And they teleport away to parts unknown. And Serpentera itself is beginning to explode.
That's what I say. If it crashes, we might land on the city.
Chest opens up. All right, Joes, let's go.
You, Joe!
And once everybody's in, we'll go back to home base.
Then you teleport in on the planet, do the cool superhero landing, stand up high in the sky. Fireworks everywhere. And everything looks to be total victory.
Holy crap. Did anybody else see that?
Alarms start going off inside of the Zord. You look out over the horizon. Hundreds of tears are appearing in the air. And dead things, zombies, ghosts, all kinds of horrific nightmares are pouring from them. And in the distance, you can see what looks like nightmarish, super large creature of shadow and darkness with horns that curl up in large bat-like wings. And you know, because you have history with these factions, that Cobra Commander has merged with the consciousness of Unicron. And that is where we end the penultimate episode.
Consciousness?
Yes. So anyway, that was episode 9. Thank you for tuning in. Please do all the YouTube-y things. You know what they are. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.